So my daughter is voting for Kamala Harris in the US elections, which we know is deeply polarized and divisive, and also too close to call right now. She turned 18 this year, so this is her first time voting in the US elections. And my conversation with her made me curious about what other young voters are thinking and what conversations they're having at home with their parents. So I asked her, why are you voting for Kamala? And she said, if I was to vote for my ideal candidate, it would be Dr. Jill Stein of the Green Party, because America arming Israel's genocide of Palestinians is a red line for her. But voting for Dr. Stein, she said, will only help my conscience, mommy. It will not help anybody else. I'm like, what do you mean? She said, even with my vote, Dr. Jill Stein is less likely to win. But with my vote to her, Trump is more likely to win. Then we had this whole conversation about sheep follow sheep mentality and how, there's a case where how other people vote can influence how you vote. All of that conversation. She's like, no, mommy, that's not what I'm doing here. I want my vote to have impact. And my vote would have impact with Kamala. I said, explain. And she said, with my vote to Kamala, she is more likely to beat him because I don't want him to be president. I said, so are you voting out of fear of a Trump presidency or out of hope for a Harris presidency? And without missing a beat, she went, I don't want Trump as president. So I asked her, how do you reconcile voting for Kamala with Kamala's unequivocal stance in supporting Israel's war crimes against Palestinians? And she said, I can't reconcile them, mommy, because she's given me no assurances she'll do things differently from Biden, and I can't see any difference between her and Trump on Israel. So I'm like, why are you voting for her then? And she said something I found interesting. She said, I don't think Palestinians will be safe under Kamala Harris, and I don't think they'll be safe under Donald Trump, but I know nobody will be safe under Donald Trump. And when she said that, the first thing that popped into my head was, that she's feeling like if she can't get her ideal presidential candidate to stop the genocide, then she has to do the next best thing, which is not letting a president come in who would hurt everybody. Interestingly, even after our long conversation about the election and her voting strategy, my daughter still feels very conflicted about voting for Kamala Harris versus her preferred candidate in this election cycle, Dr. Jill Stein. Again, this is about America's role in aiding and abetting Israel's war crimes in Palestine. And as her parent, I will not tell her who to vote for. I think that would defeat the purpose of independent thinking. I just want to make sure she's making an informed decision. Then we had this whole conversation about how the ballot box is where you reward political parties, politicians, and public officials who served well, and the same ballot box you use to punish political parties, politicians, and public officials that failed to serve well. And then she said that as much as she does not think that the Democrats should be rewarded for aiding and abetting Israel's war crimes in Palestine, she does not want it to be that by punishing the Democrats, she's rewarding the Republicans and letting Trump in. She said, mommy, I don't want Trump. Fair enough. As a parent, I'm satisfied that she's made an informed decision. It's not about whether or not I agree with her. That's not the point for me. It's really more about how she's shaped her thinking and how she's made that final decision. And I don't know if I would have made the same decision that she has at the age of 18. Clearly, if she had said to me, mommy, I'm voting for Trump, the question would not be, why are you voting for Trump? The question would be, who the hell birthed and raised you? Because sure as hell, what to me, when you switched at birth.